What is going on, my fellow Omi homies? It's Foster, and I'm back at it again with another VeVe Andy Comey video. Guys, I'm sure that you can tell from the smile on my face that this is a very exciting day, not only for me, but for the rest of the VeVe Andy Comey community. I've been in this project since April 11th of 2021. That is 443 days, 10,900 hours, or approximately 638,000 minutes. And I'd like to think that over that period of time, I've spent it being able to get to know a lot of you better, getting to learn more about the project, and enjoy this journey that we are all going on together. And last night, while I was using the web app, after being prompted to complete KYC, I gained access to Cash Out. And I can confirm and will be going over in this video how I went about cashing out my gems and how I have already received funds for cashing out on the platform. Guys, you can see that this is my account here, and on the account there is a manage wheel in the top right corner that may be skewed by my camera, but if you click on it, there's an option for payout. Now, when you click on the payout option, it may still be locked for you. For those of you that don't know, payout will only be accessible for people that complete KYC. And even once you've completed KYC, they are rolling users in batches. So it may take a few days or possibly even up to a few weeks for you to gain access. But I can confirm that it is functioning and that it is coming. So for anyone that was concerned about the project and whether or not you were ever going to be able to get money off of the platform, I can say with certainty that you will be able to. Before I get into the payout, I want to quickly go over KYC for those of you that have not had the opportunity to complete it already. It's a fairly simple 3-step process. And if you haven't received a prompt to complete it yet, don't worry. They're also batching users into KYC rollout. VeVe actually just released a tweet right as I was recording this video, and they mention how they will be rolling out the KYC access to users in batches. They're looking to get everyone KYC'd, but of course, if they released it to the entire platform all at once, and then people were experiencing issues, the support team would become overwhelmed to try and assist. So it does make sense with the amount of users we have to roll it out in batches. In order to complete KYC, it's a 3-step process. The first step is providing a government-issued photo identification. Things like a passport are accepted, as well as a driver's license. I went with my driver's license, and all I had to do was take a picture of the front and the back of it, and it accepted that as the document fairly simply. The second step is that you need to take a selfie. So you need to obviously use a mobile device would be more ideal, and it will actually take the photo automatically when you have it looked up to your face. And of course, they're looking to make sure that the person that's taking the photo is the same person that matches the government issued photo ID. And then the third step that you need to complete is to provide a document to prove your residence. There are a few documents that are accepted, and there is a list provided when you're going through KYC, but some of the most notable documents that you can use are like a hydro bill, a phone bill, or a bank statement. Just be aware that it needs to be within 3 months that you've received this document. And I'll be honest, the entire KYC process took me about 20 minutes, but 15 minutes of that 20 minutes was me looking for a document that I had received in the mail in the last 3 months to prove my residence. It's not something that we have very common these days. I think a lot of people receive their bills via email, and unfortunately, screenshots are not accepted. It needs to be the physical bill that you're taking a picture of. So just be mindful when you're going into the process to try and have one of those documents ready. And if you do, I would anticipate the process taking no longer than 5 minutes. Be mindful as well that if you do not complete KYC after you are prompted to do so, you may run into issues with using the full functionality of the app. You will not be able to buy anything in the market, sell items, or cash out. So it is fairly crucial that you do complete that step. And one other question that you guys may have on KYC that the team is looking to address is if you do have multiple accounts, they are looking to come up with a way for you to be able to consolidate your assets onto one account, but the team has confirmed that you can only KYC one account per person. So if you have your name already associated with KYC on the platform, you will not be able to KYC a second account. So with that out of the way, guys, I think the main thing that everyone's excited to be here for in this video, and definitely the thing that I'm most excited to go over, is the payout. So when you click on the payout option, you can see here that I have access to the payout on the VeVe web platform. Now, ignore the payout history at the bottom. There's a lot of things that I've been testing, and if you see red and it says failed, don't be concerned. I'll go into that momentarily, but this is what it will look like for you when you first get access to payout. It's very straightforward. There's only a few options available to you. And one of the first things that I noticed when I went to do Payout is that it says the payment amount is 100 gems minimum. So now I know that we were originally told that to gain access to the payout, you need at least 1,000 gems, but it looks as though you don't have to cash out all 1,000 of those gems. You can do it in increments of a minimum of 100, which I think is going to be fantastic because now I'm less concerned that people are going to be going out and selling Grail collectibles to try and get to a certain threshold. Knowing that you only need to cash out 100 gems at a time, I think that that's fairly reasonable, and we'll go into that a little bit more. But as you can see here, you can enter any number that you want. I'm assuming that there's a limit. I believe they indicated of 50,000 a week. I don't have 50,000 gems right now, so I can't test that feature. If someone does have a ton of gems and they want to give them to me, I can definitely test that out for you. But right now, I'm going with the numbers that I have. So I've done a couple with 100. I did more just to get a gauge on the different fees that you pay based on the amounts that you withdraw. But you enter in the amount and then you select the payout type. Now we can see here there's currently 5 different payout types available for cryptos in a bank transfer, but most notably you can cash out in Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, and Binance USD. Now that's not something that I expected to see when I first logged on here, so that actually got me quite excited. Now of course this does not mean that VeVe and Akomi gets the Omi token listed on Binance or any confirmation of any type of partnership that may or may not exist. But the fact that this is available even through their payment provider, the more people that are cashing out on VeVe and using Binance USD as an option, it's just one more metric that Binance can then look over and say, hey, we want the Omi token listed on this platform because if people are cashing out for VeVe and want to go buy the Omi token, it makes sense for us to have it listed there. So I was very excited to see that because it just keeps the door open. So these are the different options, and depending on what option you click, you can see here, it just prompts you to include a address for crypto. Now, one of the things that I noticed is the first withdrawal I tried to do was USDT. If you try and enter in a TRC address or any other address other than an ERC20 standard address for USDT, it will tell you that the address is invalid. So what that tells me is that you can only use ERC20 standard withdraw addresses in order to withdraw the crypto. So if you're using another crypto, whether it be Ethereum or anything else, make sure that you're selecting an ERC20 address if you get access to this, because that way it will prompt you. Now, if it lets you put in a different address, it's probably okay. But for me, it would not let me. It would say invalid address. So that led me to believe, at least for USDT, I needed to use ERC20. So I pasted in my ERC20 address. And as you can see here, this is what it will show up as when you get to the next screen. When you click withdraw, you'll be prompted to enter a 2FA code in that will be emailed to you from VeVe. You enter in that code and then you get brought to this screen. Now, when you're looking at USDT, you will see that it gives you 5 minutes in order to complete the transaction. I obviously took this as a screenshot, but this is what it looked like for me when I was withdrawing. So it will tell you what the payout you requested is, which you can actually modify on this screen, and then it'll give you the payout fee. Now it says view additional fees. This is the one aspect of it I wasn't super impressed with, if I'm being honest. I click on view additional fees and it talks to me about all the fees associated with Disney and Marvel and USPS for selling collectibles, but it doesn't really break down what the fee is associated with the actual cash out itself. Now, we know that the team has mentioned in AMAs that you are paying a 10% fee for cash out currently, but it didn't substantiate where the rest of the fees came from. Now, of course, there is no Medium article that has been released yet by the team. This is still very early in testing, so it's impossible to know, maybe they will clarify that information. I do highly anticipate that they will. But of course, I'm going into this a little bit more blind than you guys may be by the time that this video is released and that information comes out. So it didn't really give me a lot of context as to where this payout fee came from. And why that is relevant is, as you can see here down at the bottom of my screen, I tested it out 3 times. And when I tested it out, I changed the amounts that I was doing just to see if it would change the fee. But you can see the first time that I did $100, the fee was $12.73. The second time that I did $100 that I actually completed the transaction on, it was $11.95. So it saved me $1 to wait. I think I tested it 10 minutes afterwards. And now you can see I took this screenshot right before I started recording the video, and the payout fee is $19.51. So the payout fee is $8 higher, or 8% higher right now for me to cash out than it would have been had I cashed out last night. So what that tells me is there is a fee that is charged by the issuing provider to facilitate this service, but then it's also pegged to likely what the GUI or ERC20 gas is currently on the Ethereum network, since it's an ERC20 backed token. So since I'm filling out this in the middle of the day, it's 2:30 in the afternoon, it's likely that more people are transacting in Ethereum, and that is why the price is higher. But now, on $100, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's still an extra 8%. But if I was looking to cash out, let's say $1,000 or $10,000, that could be the difference of hundreds, if not almost $1,000, by not waiting until gas prices are lower. So I would anticipate, if you guys are going to be doing cash out, pay attention to that to make sure that you're aware of it, because you want to make sure that you're saving as much on the fees as you can. It'll tell you the amount that you're going to receive, the payout type, which of course we know is USDT, and the USDT rate, which is where the USDT rate is pegged to on whatever exchange this payment provider is using to facilitate it. And then of course the USDT address, I've just blanked out for now, but I entered in my USDT address, and then it'll tell you what you receive. And this was the most interesting and bullish thing for me. Like, this is the thing, outside of the fact that payout was even available, was like, wow, this is going to change the entire platform. And that was that it said transfers completed within 24 to 48 hours, which I still think is a fantastic turnaround time. I think that if you can get your funds within 24 to 48 hours, that's fairly reasonable. And I don't see any complaints that anyone would have in relation to that. There's other projects that have cash out that we know of that take significantly longer in order to get your funds. So I'm perfectly fine with waiting 24 to 48 hours to get my funds. Guys, I got my funds 5 minutes after completing that process. I entered it and I assumed that I was going to go to bed and wake up the next day and maybe I would receive a notification. And literally 5 minutes later, I received an email from my exchange advising me that the funds had been deposited into my account. That is absolutely insane. That is almost instantaneous access to your funds. Like, if that's not the most exciting thing that has come out of this project in months or ever, I don't know what is. Not only do we now have access to our funds, but we have access to our funds instantaneously. There's no weeks-long lockup waiting to see whether or not it is or isn't going to get improved. You get your funds right away, or for whatever reason it doesn't work, it generally tells you almost instantly that it's not working, and then you can either file a support ticket or change something that you may have done incorrectly in order to make it go through. So exciting. And once we get the functionality to have crypto to gem, which has been teased from a couple of members in the community, if that was to be released and we could onboard crypto onto the platform as quickly as we're able to take gems off of the platform, guys, the amount of money that would come into the project and even the arbitrage opportunities that would be available for traders and bigger individuals that could make a livelihood out of taking advantage of these opportunities, it would be absolutely incredible. And I'm just so excited. I won't go over the other crypto stuff. I don't want to make this video too long, but I will go over the bank transfer. It's the only one that I haven't completed in its entirety yet. It required me to get some stuff from my bank and stuff, and I didn't want to call them and get that information yet, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what the screen looks like. You'll need your account number, obviously the country that you live in, the SWIFT code from your bank and your bank name, and then you add your account, and once you've added your account, you can cash out into fiat. So I've only explored the crypto options. There is a fiat option that's available, and I will likely test that at some point, but I do anticipate that there will be extra fees associated, both with wire transfer fees and then converting from USD into Canadian dollars into the local currency. So I do anticipate that this option will also cost me quite a bit more money, and I don't know that I'm in a position where I'm ready to commit to that quite yet, but I did want to test out a few different options, and even if it cost me money to make the video, I was just so excited, it just doesn't even matter at this point. So let's go over the final thing that you guys will want to see with the payout, the red, the failed. And I know you guys see this and you're worried about it and you're saying, well, it doesn't look like it's that successful to me. These are the things that you need to keep in mind. The first 2 transactions that I did, I was just trying to calculate the gas costs or whatever fee was associated with me cashing out. I did not commit to both of these transactions. So when it says failed, it's because on this screen, you have to click withdraw in order to actually complete that process. If it times out after 5 minutes, or if you back out of this screen, you can't actually get back into it, which is why it allows you to modify these in the payout screen, because once you back out, it automatically will register as a failed transaction. So these 2 transactions failed just because I didn't commit to them. However, I then cashed out the 100 USDT, and this was the transaction that I received in 5 minutes. And I have it in my account right now, guys. It actually exists. It's real. I'm not getting paid or from anyone to say that. Like, it's here, guys, and it just gets me so excited. I then did a Bitcoin transaction earlier this morning to test that out, and the Bitcoin worked. The Bitcoin is also in my account. Something that I did notice, and I'm not sure if it's because I did something wrong or if there's an issue, I haven't had a chance to look into it quite yet, but Ethereum and the Binance USD both failed. Now, I wasn't using my Binance USD account. I was using a friend's because I don't have access to Binance in Ontario. I don't think that would play a role in why it failed. The address was what the address was, so I don't see a reason why that would fail. And then the Ethereum one also failed. If I had to guess, it might have been volatility and congestions with gas fees. And it's possible that if the gas or GWAI fluctuates too much while that transaction is happening, the transaction may fail, but I don't have any independent confirmation of that yet. So I don't have the information. I can't say for sure one way or another. I will try another Ethereum and Binance USDT transaction, and I'll give you guys an update post video in a pinned comment as to what happened with those. But I wanted to still post the video to let you guys know because I've seen a lot of people posting about it. I wanted to be able to confirm for you guys that MTL is available. It's an extremely straightforward process after you've KYC'd. Once again, once you get access to it, you'll come to the payout screen. You pick whatever amount that you want. You pick your payout option. You enter the address that you're sending it to. Once again, I believe that it's ERC20 backed tokens, but you can wait until the Medium article comes out to confirm. And then either of that, you just cash your funds out. And I guess for reference as well, I should mention the USDT took 5 minutes for me to receive. The Bitcoin took approximately 20 minutes for me to receive from after I sent it. And the Ethereum and Binance USD, I have no idea because, of course, the transactions failed. But to use that as a gauge, if you're able to get your crypto within 5 to 20 minutes, regardless of what you're cashing out in, I think that that's extremely bullish. And then, of course, if you're cashing out something like USDT or Binance USD, you can then use that as a stablecoin in order to go and buy OMI. I do anticipate with more people getting access to this that we will start to see a lot more buy pressure for the OMI token. I think a lot of people will look to take out some profits and roll it into that. We may see some money leave the platform as well for people that are just, I guess, over it or for whatever reason and no longer want to have their cash. But I'm not sure what you can tell people anymore to convince them that this is truly coming. It's actually happening. VeVe and Nakomi are delivering on their timelines, and it's just so exciting. So I wanted to share this video with you guys. If you have any questions for me about the cash out process or anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, subscribe to my channel if you have not already so you do not miss any exciting content like the content that I'm producing right now. I look forward to continuing to go on this journey with each and every one of you. We're just getting started, guys, and I absolutely cannot wait. I love you all. Peace.